SMT. My name is Louis Vaillant. I did my SMT on the OSIRIS-REx project by NASA. So an overview of this project was it's got a long name that each individual thing kind of describes the project itself, but its main goal was to go to an asteroid, near-Earth asteroid, and collect data from it and actually retrieve material and bring it back to Earth so that it could be tested here on Earth and kind of like confirm what scientists believe in that they believed but couldn't really test yet. So this is the first satellite to return a sample from an asteroid to Earth, and the asteroid itself was named Bennu. It's a near-Earth asteroid that we don't know. They debated on if it could hit Earth, and that's possibly that's the security part of the OSIRIS' name, is to kind of map it out and see what it contains and if it had possibly collided with Earth before or if it could in the future. So they also measured the orbit deviation to kind of test this. This is a small timeline of the project itself. It launched in September of 2016, and it arrived at Bennu on December 3rd, 2018. And throughout this time, for propulsion, it used a solar array which collected radiation from the sun to kind of push it, and it had multiple low thrusters on it to keep its direction correct without kind of veering off, so to correct it, and also a main thruster to push it back toward Earth eventually once it collected its material. It collected the material on October 20th and spent more time kind of circling it and mapping it out afterwards before returning to Earth, where it dropped the material, its sample it collected to Earth, which had just been finished testing, and is now en route to a different near-Earth asteroid named Apophis, which is estimated to get there around 2029. So after arriving, it spent a year or two mapping and kind of sending signals back to scientists on Earth about what it looked like, because they didn't know where they were going to land, and they wanted to make sure it was an area that they could retrieve what they were looking for and didn't have any hazardous boulders like they knew were all over the surface. So they chose Nightingale, which is a crater that was deemed to be younger and kind of had more powdery material than gravel and big boulders. It was about 460 feet wide. And so they did a touch and go maneuver to do this. This is the first of its kind. So the satellite itself unfolded a robotic arm and touched down quickly and returned back to orbit. And it successfully met, the goal was originally just to collect 60 grams of material, and it collected 121 grams. So they met the requirement and kind of brought back more than it was supposed to so that they could test more. And so once NASA and the scientists on Earth retrieved the information that they had got what they wanted, they closed the heat capsule and were able to prepare for it to be brought back to Earth. So at the arrival of Earth, the sample came down in the capsule like that with a heat shield, and it was parachuted down once it got to a certain feet and landed in Utah, where then it was brought to NASA's laboratories, and they were able to find that this asteroid contained salt water, and in that salt water they found that there were amino acids, and 14 out of the 20 amino acids used on Earth to make proteins, and the nucleobases, all of those were found to, that shows that they stored, that shows that life on Earth, life could exist beyond Earth. So that's what this is really trying to find. And they, scientists had believed this, that these were on there, but they couldn't test it because every material we've had, whether a meteor has landed on Earth, it has come in contact and could be skewed, because since this was a closed section of material that hadn't been kind of affected from Earth, so they knew it was straight from there and that this wasn't affected already. And then So this is just like the formula of life, is what the scientists call it. It's like this is how our life has evolved, and it's come from these set of things. And this kind of shows that what they believe is true, that this could exist. So this mission was a major success. It shows that the building blocks of life are out there to be found, and it also raises the question of why we haven't found our life on Earth. If it's common and we know it's out there, why we haven't found other life? And so this is just these findings build on the research to unlock this mystery and trying to solve this from beyond. So, any questions?
So, like, how did you stumble upon this project, and
So
how did you get interested in it?
I thought we had to do just any scientific topic, which is when I asked the question, I got a yes from that. So I was reading this article and I found it really, I worked at NASA over the summer as an intern, so I found this topic really interesting that they were able to do this. So that's when I found this topic, but